Hi, this is Shane Starr on an uncharacteristically rainy day in South Orange County, California. Welcome to Reflections on Religion, where we explore the chaotic intersection between religious faith and contemporary culture. I think the best way to introduce this channel and the content is to go through the schedule of topics. We will do a video every Friday this year, preceded by a short introduction on Thursdays, followed by on a need basis on Tuesdays if we have some comments that require an answer or some further reflection. So let's dive right into it. Week one, next week, we're going to start our series with the idea of God versus a random chance viewpoint of the universe. And then we're going to take those two viewpoints and take a look at the famous Pascal wager. All right, so followed from that, we're going to take a look at the different ways one can receive faith or reach to God, in for lack of a better word. And we're going to be looking at notions of the true, the good, the beautiful, and the mysterious. From there, we'll take a look at the importance of church. We're going to look at denomination infighting, denominations against each other in the Christian religion mostly. We're going to look at biblical literalism versus biblical symbolism. We're going to look at prayer, divine friendship, and the final judgment. We're going to look at science, religion, and technology, Catholics, Mary, and the saints. We're going to take a look at what Paul wrote about running the race to win and how that ties in with New Year's resolutions. We're going to look at spiritual discipline and task management. We're going to look at our personal mistakes and our destiny. We're going to explore the concept of the Pope. We're going to take a look at Paul versus Peter, some religious debates that took place that aren't as well known as they perhaps should be. We're going to look at the effect of resentment and forgiveness and what that has on faith. We're going to look at what Nietzsche had to say about his famous notion that God is dead and how that ties in to our compromising our own religion. We're going to further take a look at icons, art, and beauty. Are these things that draw us closer to God, or are they idolatrous? We're going to look at Martin Luther and what he hoped to gain from the Reformation, and we're going to take a closer look at the facts surrounding the Reformation. We're going to look at some lost, hidden, holy books and see if those can inform our faith or if they take from it, or a little of both. We're going to explore atheism, religion, and personal rebellion. We're going to see how that works with some pretty well-known examples. We're going to look at notions of the multiverse. We're going to explore the Eucharist in a literal sense. We're going to look at how existentialism relates to Christianity, how rational religion, based on the Enlightenment ideas of Emerson, Rousseau, and Kant, how those relate to contemporary Christianity. We're going to look at Christianity and other religions. The Ten Commandments, are they still relevant today? Regrets, doubts, miracles, are those still possible in 2026? We're going to look at the Pharisees. We're going to take a closer look at what they believed in, what they had right, what they had wrong, and hopefully get some fresh insights on that whole historical event or series of events with Jesus. We're going to take a closer look at the Shroud of Turin. We're going to look at AI and the probability of God. We're going to see how religion has a special relationship with people struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. We're going to look at religion and social media, religion in the workplace, the power of prayer, the book of Revelation, the Bible and aliens. religion in time, religion in politics. We're going to take a closer look at the Golden Rule, what it means, what it implies. We're going to see what Moses, David, the Apostle Paul, and you all have in common. And we're going to see how God worked through the disciples and the really historically miraculous way that Christianity spread in the ancient world. We're going to look at Christianity and Eastern philosophies and religions. We're going to look at Christianity and Freud. We're going to look at Christianity and personality systems like MBTI and the Enneagram. We're going to take a closer look at mixed faith relationships. Can they work? What are some challenges? What are some maybe good points about mixed faith relationships? We're going to look at the effect of apparently innocent joking, complaining, gossip, and even slander, what those kinds of activities have on your faith and your walk in relationship with God. We're going to look at the theology of the body and death and what that means, from a Platonic idea to an early Christian idea to contemporary debates on what it means for us here and now. Finally, we're going to take a look at the power of confessional gratitude and faith as transformative knowledge. So those are the topics we're going to explore this year on this channel, and I hope that sounds interesting to you. If it does, subscribe, tune in, and interact with us by way of comments, and I'll answer every comment and start a conversation. I think what should come next really, who am I and why am I doing this? My name is Shane Starr. I grew up in Huntington Beach, California, moved to Los Angeles. I was a state champion and national champion amateur surfer. My pro surfing career didn't go as planned. I went to college. I double majored in philosophy and religion at USC. Received my master's degree from Yale University in philosophical theology and the philosophy of religion. I did a teaching career after that, and from there I got into real estate, and now I do property management, and just finished a theology program at the University of Notre Dame's McGrath Institute. So my education is mostly in philosophy and religion, and I think from a learned standpoint, it qualifies me to talk on these subjects that I've laid out in our schedule. Now, from a personal standpoint, I have checkered life experiences like most of us do, and I think that I've made every single mistake a human can make. I've basically, as a longtime Christian, I believed in God ever since I can remember. And I went to Catholic school for my first 3 grades. And then while I still believed in God throughout my life, I was a vicious opponent of the Catholic Church and church in general. And it wasn't until several broken relationships, ruined careers, financial mistakes, just failure on every front made me realize that my so-called faith wasn't really worth anything. Not only did it not do anything special for me personally, but I didn't live any differently from my agnostic and atheist friends. In fact, many of them lived a more righteous, good life than I did. And a few years ago, I realized that my brand of personal religion, my own personal Christianity, wasn't really working for me, and I needed something more. And the notion of apostolic succession and perhaps the need for more structure and guidance and organization in my life, coming from that individualist standpoint, that brought me back to the Catholic Church. Now, this isn't an exclusive Catholic channel. You can be of any faith or not have faith at all, and I still welcome a conversation with you. I'm just sharing what I had to do to take the next step in my own personal relationship with God. Your path may be different, and I firmly believe that God can work in mysterious ways through each of us in unique, wonderful ways. So your path may be different from mine, and that's okay. All right, so what makes me qualified to undertake this task or this work that I've committed to for the coming year and maybe beyond? It's my education combined with my truly human experience, I think uniquely sets me up to be able to discuss faith and the problems involved with trying to live a life of faith maybe more accurately and relatable than someone who has grown up in the faith and has always been good with religion, or someone who doesn't have faith and never really did, never really will. And on a third point, my education alone qualifies me from the standpoint of knowing the arguments for and against virtually every point that I bring up this whole year. I've read all the philosophers, all the relevant scientists that weigh in on this topic, and I know who supports me on my contentions. I know the arguments against my own points, and I think that that's a necessary ingredient to have a fully comprehensive religion channel where I can truly, honestly, and accurately answer real questions about the faith and how that interaction with contemporary culture goes. All right, so that takes us to the structure of the channel. This will probably be on the longer side of the videos I have. I know from experience doing a personality YouTube channel that videos longer than 10 or 15 minutes usually don't get watched. I'd rather pare it down and make every word count. And as such, I'm going to try to shoot for about 12 minutes. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer, but 12-minute videos divided into 6 distinct parts. That is, we're going to define the problem. We're going to offer some personal and or social examples. We're going to explain why this matters. Then we're going to take a look at some possible options, not my own. And then I'm going to come with my own solution with an explanation if need be. And last but not least, an invitation to discuss this issue further in the comments. And if there are comments, then I'll address them in another video on Tuesdays. Okay, so that's how it's going to go. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. I'm excited. It's going to be a real small beginning, but hopefully God can work through all of us interacting together and we can accomplish great things. All right, that's all I have for today. I will see you with a short intro on Tuesday. Peace out.